one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yes. Which congregation are you?
We're in South, Robert.
Sorry, say that again.
Stevenage South.
Stevenage South. Yes, I left a message. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I was given some literature at one of the carts.
Yeah.
I've been looking at your website quite a lot. What really puzzles me would be, why do you have Jehovah in the New Testament portion of your Bible, the New World Translation?
Yeah.
I've no problem with it being in the Old Testament. I don't really wish to discuss that. The Jerusalem Bible has Yahweh 7,000 times in the Old Testament. No problem.
Yeah.
Why do you have it in the New Testament portion when not one Greek New Testament manuscript contains the word Jehovah? And your Kingdom Interlinear translation, which is on your website, published by the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania, that doesn't ever translate Kyrios as Jehovah, not even once.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I could do, Robert. Have you got an email address? I could email you. We've got an... okay.
No. I talk to people. Otherwise, what happens is, I've spoken to Seventh-day Adventists in the past, you just get spammed. They just email you stuff 3, 4, 5 times a day, and there's not enough hours in the day for me to watch all the Seventh-day Adventist videos and read all the articles. Robert, if you talk to people, you can find out pretty quickly whether people have any evidence or proof to back up what they're saying. If you allow them to text you stuff or send you links, then it just never ends.
Yeah,
it's like purgatory.
It wasn't really for that. I'll tell you for why. Because in our New World Translation, we've got the.
I've read it.
We've got the appendix.
I've read it.
So
yeah.
That was all.
Yeah.
The divine name in the Christian Greek scriptures. I was just going to copy and paste it for you, so you could.
I've read it. It doesn't provide.
It wasn't going to be to fob you off at all.
Yeah.
But just to examine the evidence for yourself.
It's not evidence.
Well,
what I'm looking for is evidence. Can you name one Greek manuscript of the New Testament that contains the tetragrammaton, Yod He Vav He, Jehovah or Yahweh? Because that would be evidence, you see. There's 5,800 Greek manuscripts. Not one of them contains the tetragrammaton. So why does your New World Translation have Jehovah in the New Testament?
Right. Well, look, I'm just reading from the appendix here, A5.
I can hardly hear you.
Sorry, I've got you on loudspeaker, so I could read the appendix. That was all. Where was I reading it? There we go. Because I'm pumping straight into the. I honestly think if you'd let me send this to you, it's literally a page, Robert, and you can call me straight back. It's not. It'd be better to send it to you at your email.
What do you want to read?
Well, it's really long with all the evidences to back it all up. So.
What? No, just name what you want to read.
But I just need to do a bit more research. Sure. I could read it all. I could read it all, actually. Okay, so can you hear me?
Yes.
It says, Bible scholars acknowledge that God's...
Sorry, stop.
Okay.
Stop.
Yeah.
Which Bible scholars? Be precise, be specific. Which Bible scholars?
Okay. Well, as I say, it goes into explain those. This is the interesting
point.
No.
If I were to say to you, Bible scholars say that Jehovah's Witnesses are wrong about X, Y, Z, that is not a fair statement.
The thing
because
is,
I'm not naming the Bible scholars.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, for instance, Robert Manti is a Bible scholar. He's dead now. He died years ago. But I've seen an old video of him holding up the Kingdom Interlinear translation.
Yeah.
And Robert Manti says on this video, he was one of the world's top Greek experts in biblical Koine Greek. He said it was an appalling translation. And he then gave reasons why he did not agree with some of the statements in the Kingdom Interlinear translation. Now, he is a top scholar. Whether you agree with him or not, if someone says something scholars say this, you have to name the scholars who you're referring to.
Yeah.
You can't simply say scholars agree with Jehovah's Witnesses and you don't name the scholars.
You're slightly taking me out of context here. Like I say, Robert, if you just would have a little look at it's only on one of our pages. Let me just have a look. You're kind of diving into. So let's have a look. Recognised translations, the Christian Greek scriptures.
Which appendix are you looking at? Is this the Study Bible 2013 or is this the Ordinary 2013?
The Study Bible, have you got it?
I'm looking at it on your website. Which appendix?
Appendix A, 5. So you've got Appendix A4.
A5.
Yes, you've got 4, which is in the Hebrew scriptures.
Right.
And A5.
Yes. I've read this. The problem is it doesn't give any evidence at all. It makes claims, it makes statements, but there is no evidence given. Okay. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for evidence. What evidence do you have? Evidence would be you name a Greek manuscript. You say, well, Codex Vaticanus at this reference uses the word Jehovah, or P66, a very ancient fragment, uses the word Jehovah. Or P70 uses the word Jehovah. So you give a reference, you see, to prove your point.
Did you see down to recognised Bible translators have used God's name in the Christian Greek?
You need to speak slowly. Sorry.
If you go down to recognised Bible translators have used God's name in the Christian Greek scriptures, is a little...
Yes, recognised Bible translators have used God's name in the Christian Greek scriptures. It doesn't name...
Have a little read of that.
Well, the emphatic diaglot by Benjamin Wilson, he was an uneducated man. He was a Christadelphian.
Just keep going.
Yeah, it mentions Christadelphian, the emphatic diaglot by Benjamin Wilson, 1864. It doesn't give examples of where they use the word Jehovah in the New Testament. Right. In addition, in a Spanish translation in the early 20th century, translator Pablo Besson used Jehovah without the H at the end, at Luke 2:15 and Jude 14, and over 100 times in his translation footnotes. That's irrelevant. It's a translation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand.
It's a translation from the 20th century, so it's not a source document for the New Testament. We can't use that and say we must put Jehovah in the Old Testament because of a document, a translation, a mere translation written in the 20th century. I mean, I don't wish to be blasphemous or flippant. Let me give you an example. Let me just give you an example. Let's say I'm a billionaire. I'm a very wealthy person. I hire a team of scholars to translate the Bible for me into Greek. Okay? And I decide that in certain places where Lord is used, now, which word should I choose? I said, you should put the word Freddie there, because God's name is Freddie. And I published that Bible in 2025. It's a translation into Greek with the word Freddie used repeatedly throughout the New Testament. Now, should scholars then turn around and says, well, Robert Skinner published this Bible in Greek in 2025 and he put the word Freddie, so every time that it refers to the Father, I refer to the Father as Freddie. Should that be a source document for the New Testament? So all Bibles all around the world must now read Freddie, because that's what my ridiculous translation in 2025 said. I have no qualifications, no scholarship in Greek and Hebrew. But if I was a billionaire, I could easily afford to do that. It only cost me a couple of million to get scholars to write that and then publish it. But it wouldn't be a source document for the New Testament. You see, I'm not trying to be flippant. Also, the other.
If you scroll up to in the days of Jesus and his apostles, the Tetragrammaton also appeared in the Greek translations of the Hebrew.
Hang on. You need to go slowly. Where do you want me to go? You want me to go up to what?
In the days of Jesus and his apostles, the Tetragrammaton also appeared in the Greek translations.
Yes, I found. In the days of Jesus and his apostles, the Tetragrammaton also appeared in the Greek translations of the Hebrew Scriptures. Very, very few of them.
Have a little read.
No. Very, very few of them. Later and possibly unreliable. But I'm not talking about the Hebrew Bible. I'm talking about the Greek New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking you about the Hebrew Bible. The Jerusalem Bible has Yahweh 7,000 times in the Old Testament. I've no problem with that. My question is about the New Testament. Why do you have the name Jehovah in the New Testament? What evidence, what proof? I'm not asking for a theory, because there's all sorts of theories. There's all sorts of religious theories. I mean, the nation of Islam, which was popularized in the 1960s by Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X, although Malcolm X left and was killed, they have a theory that the white man was produced in a flying saucer by an evil scientist called Yaqub. There's these flying saucers flying around the earth, and there's this evil race that made the white man. Now, that's a theory, but it's a ridiculous theory. It's a load of nonsense. Apparently, the person who founded the Nation of Islam, he went to prison for various crimes. And he went to a very terrible prison in California, I think it was. I forget the name of the... San Quentin, I think it was called. I don't know if that's in California. San Quentin prison, I think. And terrible experiments were done on African-American men in San Quentin prison. So that's probably what got him his hatred of the white man.
Mm-hmm.
Which then went into the Nation of Islam. So... the idea that, the white man was made in a flying saucer and the black people, the black Africans are God's chosen people, they're the real Hebrew Israelites, and the people in Jerusalem and Israel at the moment, then they're not the real Israelites. All that's a theory. And you have to look for evidence to see whether that's right or wrong. But theories are one thing, proof is another. Now, what I'm interested in is the New Testament. Can you show me proof, evidence, facts? And that's documents, not a theory that someone's written. Can you give me facts that the word Jehovah should be in the New Testament, please?
Did you see the context of both those verses that were touched on? So obviously Jesus he quoted obviously the Hebrew Scriptures, as you just said. So where John 17. Jesus spoke about making in prayer, making God's name known to.
You need to be precise. Don't say John 17. Give the exact verse. Be precise, because then I can turn to it.
Well, if you go to the, let's have a look. It's so if you've got the Christian Greek Scriptures, if you look up, you can touch there on the verses. There, it'll take you to the verses.
Yeah.
You've got the Christian Greek Scriptures themselves report that Jesus often referred to God's name and made it known to others. You've got John 17:6, John 17:11.
So you're not referring to the Bible. You're referring to what now? Because you're not quoting the Bible. You told me to go to John 17. I've gone to John 17, and now you're quoting something that somebody's written. What are you quoting? If you're going to read from one of your books, you need to give me the reference so I can follow you.
Yeah. Well, we can read it from your Bible if you like. John 17 and verse 6.
You've just read something which is not in the Bible. You've read from something that is from one of your books, I would imagine.
Yeah, because it's talking about you was asking about the context.
What are you reading from? So I can turn there and read it with
Oh,
you.
I follow it. That's what I said. If you go back to your computer, you're online and you're looking at the appendix A5, Robert.
Yes.
If you go up to the Christian Greek scriptures themselves, report that Jesus often referred to God's name.
The Christian Greek scriptures themselves.
That's it. Have you found
Is that
it?
right? Right, the divine name in the Christian Greek scriptures, A5. Where do you want me to go now?
So if you scroll down, I'm just making my way
Halfway down, 3/4 of the way down, 1/3 of the way down? Try and help me.
Probably about 1/4 of the way down.
Right, you're being helpful. All right, and what am I looking for? The Christian Greek scriptures themselves.
Yeah, that's it. Report that Jesus often referred to God's name and made it known to others.
Right.
So
Which verse? It quotes several verses. Which verse do you want to look at? Let's look at one.
So John 17, verse 6.
John 17:6. I have manifested your name to the men whom you have given me out of the world. They were yours, you gave them to me, they have kept your word. This is not saying that Jesus went around saying, Jehovah, 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 Jehovah.
Robert.
Can you allow me to respond?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The Jews knew perfectly well what God's name was. They didn't need Jesus to come along and tell them. They knew it. That's the first thing. The second...
I just interject on that point. But by that time, Jehovah's name, that it was frowned upon to use God's name. It's the same today, ironically. But God's name was considered... what's the expression?
They were frightened that it would be used out of context and used in a blasphemous way. Rather like when you turn on a Hollywood film, they will repeatedly use the word Jesus or the word Christ as a swear word, which I find deeply offensive. So for that reason, the Jews didn't utter the name. You've missed the point of what I said. What I said was the Jews knew what the name of God was. They didn't need Jesus to come along and tell them because they already knew it.
The thing is, don't forget when John the Baptist, when he was getting the nation of Israel to repent and prepare them for the Messiah, he was drawing them back to their promise to be a dedicated people to Jehovah God, to Yahweh. So people had deviated from their relationship with God. The Israelites had, not necessarily the Jewish religious leaders, but that's why Jesus was so firm with them, because as he said, you've hidden the truth from these ones, and in fact he made that quite clear. He said, Father, I'm glad you've hidden it from the wise and intellectual ones and revealed it to babes. Quite interesting. So
I noticed one thing. We're jumping all over the place. We're looking at something for a few seconds, then we're jumping on to another paragraph, and we're not actually seeing anything through in depth. I'd like to deal with John 17:6, if I might.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. I have manifested your name to the men whom you have given me out of the world. They were yours, you gave them to me, and they have kept your word. It's not saying here that the Jews were ignorant about the name of God, and Jesus went around saying, oh, I've got something to tell you. God's name is Jehovah. Oh, I bet you didn't know that. Yes, it's Jehovah. No. It's when Jesus says, I've manifested your name, anoma in Greek, refers to the person. He's revealed to the Jews what the Father is like. That's all Jesus means here. And perhaps it's...
Have a look at verse 26 then, Robert. See,
We jump. Okay. I have declared to them your name, and will declare it, that the love which you loved me may be in them and I in them. When it says he's revealed your name, it's referring to the character. It's referring to the person of the Father. Jesus has revealed who the Father is like to these Jewish people. That's all that John 14:6 and John 14:28 mean. It's not saying that the Jews were there. They didn't know what God's name was. They really didn't know it. And then along came Jesus and said, I've got something to tell you. God's name is Jehovah. The Jews perfectly knew what God's name was, but they weren't allowed to utter it. It was part of the culture that you didn't utter the name of God, which they all knew. Instead, you would say Hashem, the name. I think it's clearer in the other verse mentioned in this little passage. This passage quotes, I have come in the name of my Father. I think that's John 5:43. It quotes two verses together. It's mashed them together, I think. I have come in my Father's name, and you do not receive me. If another comes in his own name, him you will receive. John 5:43. Again, the Greek word is enoma, which is translated as name. It simply means authority. So here, Jesus is not saying, I have come and I'm going to tell you God's name is Jehovah, Jehovah, Jehovah. And Jesus is repeating this over and over. It's Jehovah, Jehovah, Jehovah. When he says he comes in his Father's name, name there means the authority of his Father. So, firstly, I think this is completely irrelevant to the question I'm asking.
Yeah, I know.
Why do you have the word Jehovah in the New Testament when of the 5,800 Greek New Testament manuscripts and manuscript fragments, because admittedly some of them are rather small fragments, why do you have this when not one Greek manuscript contains the word Jehovah?
If you go up to Septuagint, if you go up to in the days of Jesus and the apostles,
I find that I will do that, but you're jumping all over the shop because you're the one who doesn't know this literature.
The thing is, Robert. I'm phoning you because I was asked to phone you. Would it be better if we pop round to see you, or if you have the evidence that I've. If you read this from the beginning to the end, it will probably make more sense. I
have, and it does not give one scrap of evidence. It's just theories.
Yeah, well,
rather like God made the white man in that flying saucer flying around the earth. Yes, the scientist Yaqub made the evil white race, and that's the teaching of the Nation of Islam. It's a theory, but what I'm looking for is not theories. I'm looking for proof.
Are you God-fearing, or is this sort of more academic kind of thing, Robert? I don't mean that disrespectfully. Do you believe in a creator?
Yes.
You do? Oh, well, that's wonderful. Okay, Robert. Well, you're a searcher of truth, aren't you?
You wanted me to go to another section. Where do you want me to go to? Is this still A5?
I was just wanting you to have a little read through the A5 section. I
have read it. You wanted me to go to somewhere else. You said the Septuagint. I heard that.
Yeah.
Where do you want me to go? And where is it in A5?
If you go up from where you are, it just says in the days of Jesus and his apostles, the Tetragrammaton also appeared in Greek translations of the Hebrew Scriptures.
That's misleading.
For centuries,
that is extremely misleading. There are only, I think, two tetragrammaton occurrences. There might be more in the very occasional Septuagint rendering. It normally in the Septuagint, in almost all Septuagint documents, says Lord, but there are I think there's two. I'd have to look at that, but it's extremely rare. So when it says in the days of Jesus and his apostles, the Tetragrammaton also appeared in the Greek translations of the Hebrew Scriptures, that is misleading.
Let's have a look. It says, for centuries, scholars thought that the Tetragrammaton was absent from manuscripts of the Greek Septuagint, translations of the Hebrew Scriptures. Then in the mid-20th century, some very old fragments, which you're speaking of the Greek Septuagint version that existed in Jesus' day were brought to the attention of scholars. Those fragments contained the personal name of God written in Hebrew characters. So in Jesus' day, copies of the scriptures in Greek did contain the divine name. About two
rare documents. But the vast overwhelming majority do not have it.
However, by the 4th century CE, major manuscripts of the Greek Septuagint such as the Codex Vaticanus and the Codex Sinaiticus, did not contain the divine name in the books of Genesis through Malachi.
That's highly misleading, because all of the Greek Septuagint, with one or two, I think it's two documents. It's literally the Septuagint does not contain the Tetragrammaton, except for two. I think it's two documents that were found later. And what you must understand is that sometimes what happened was someone would write out a biblical text. They would write out the Septuagint, and then somebody would come along later and cross something out and then write something above it.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be edited later. That happens in the Quran quite a lot. Some of the Quran texts are edited and changed over time. But this is highly misleading. The article seems to give the impression that all of the Greek Septuagint contains Jehovah. No, it doesn't. Literally 99% plus of the Greek Septuagint does not contain the word Jehovah. It's only literally less than 1% of the documents, a tiny fraction of the documents that have been found. How reliable those documents are, I don't honestly know. But you see, I'm not talking about the Old Testament. I'm talking about the New Testament.
Yeah.
So the Septuagint is not the New Testament. It's the Old Testament, so it's irrelevant to my question.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. Luke 1:11. Luke 1:11, in your Bible, the New World Translation, puts the word Jehovah in. Then an angel of Jehovah appeared to him standing on the right side of the altar of incense. This is Zacharias, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now that's not a quotation from the Old Testament. The Greek, which is confirmed in your Kingdom Interlinear translation, also published by the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania, the Greek says Kyrios.
Mm-hmm.
Not once in your Kingdom Interlinear translation do you have the word Jehovah in the New Testament text. Why do you have Jehovah at Luke 1:11 in your New World Translation when this is not a quotation from the Old Testament? And the word that you translate as Jehovah is Kyrios here. Kyrios is Lord in Greek. It should read, the angel of the Lord appeared to him, standing on the right side of the altar of incense. That's how all the Bibles read, because the Greek reads that way. Why does your Bible say the angel of Jehovah?
Because it reads so nicely.
Pardon?
Because it reads. I get your point, Michael. What I suggest, Michael, it's interesting. I'm not really sure what I can say to you other than.
Well, you could go away. You could do some preparation and speak to me with another elder who also prepares.
Yeah.
So you're more prepared the next time. Wouldn't that be? And then you will learn something from this. Even if I'm completely wrong, at least you and that elder, if you spend a few weeks studying and preparing, the next time someone asks you this question, you'll be far better prepared.
Yeah. No,
You'll learn something, as will I do if I also prepare.
Okay. That'll be fine. So could we pop and see you, Robert? Whereabouts are you?
Plymouth.
You're in Plymouth?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay. So the only what I'll have to do, because you know we're up in Stevenage, Robert.
Yes. Which congregation again are you in Stevenage? Stevenage South, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your connection with Jehovah's Witnesses then? Is it because of the trolley and you obviously seeing the witness cart and you're obviously love your Bible history and quotation, which is really so important. I was going to say it's a shame because we've got a Bible tour in our headquarters in Chelmsford, but it's a million miles from you as well.
Yes. I've never been a Jehovah's Witness. I used to be an evangelical Christian, and in the 1980s I was briefly connected. I was baptized into a extreme Pentecostal group called Oneness. This is a group of Pentecostals who are Oneness Pentecostals. They don't believe in the Trinity. They would believe in the Oneness doctrine. And I left in 1989 becoming a very, very passionate Trinitarian.
Okay. All right. I'll do. That's probably the best thing to do is call like this, then, isn't it?
Yes.
Okie doke. All right.
I can also speak on Zoom. I know how to use Zoom.
Oh, okay. All right then, Robert. Well, perhaps we'll try and do that. What might be more helpful if you had some local. Have you tried reaching out to the local congregation down in Plymouth?
All they do is refer you on to somebody else. They don't really seem to know the Bible. They don't seem to realize that if someone asks a difficult, a hard question, and you study that hard question, you can learn more about your faith. You can be better able to defend your faith. If you actually study it. They don't really seem to have the zeal or the passion to do that.
Fine.
They just seem to think that everyone should agree with them because they believe they're in God's organization, which is right.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said, well, hold on, there are people who are Christadelphians here in Plymouth who believe that they're in God's organization, they're right. And there's Seventh-day Adventists who I've met here in Plymouth who believe they're in God's organization and they're right.
Yeah.
And there's Mormons. I once had Mormon missionaries who visited me. I even went to their Mormon church to see what they got up to. I remember we sang the song, or they sang the song rather, If I Could Hie to Kolob.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's a really good song, If I Could Hie to Kolob. To hie is an Old English word which means to run or to flee quickly. And Kolob, the chorus of the song is where gods began to be. So the Mormon God is on a planet near the star Kolob where he's having celestial sex with his goddess wives and producing spirit children. So that is why they sing where gods began to be, because God and his goddess wives are having celestial intercourse, producing new little gods.
Right. Oh, wow.
So, that was very interesting. That was a really interesting talking point also.
Yeah. Okay. All right then, Robert. Well, I'll get myself organised and we will be in touch, all right?
Yes, that's lovely. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So my name's John, all right?
Okay, my name's Robert, and I'm also reading your book, Enjoy Life Forever. If you'd prefer to look at that book, I'm also, I'm interested in warfare in that book, Lesson 13.
Yeah, oh, well done you.
And also Lesson 24 talks about the occult and spiritism. That's something I've been looking at recently. So if you prefer to look at one of those chapters, all I would ask is if you want to speak to me, send me a text the day before. Robert, I'm going to phone you at exactly this time to look at this topic.
Sure.
So I can actually be prepared, because I'm in my 60s. I do not carry the phone around with me all the time. So if I'm in the garden or I've gone to the town, I don't take the phone with me. It's on the desk in the front room, so you can phone away. You won't get through to me. It's quicker just to choose a time. I don't have a family. I can fit in around you. If you tell me you're going to speak to me in such and such a time on such and such a day on such and such a topic, I can be by the phone and I can prepare.
Sure. Well, it would be nice to go through the lessons with you. Enjoy Life Forever.
Well, I've told you I'm interested in Lesson 13 on warfare and Lesson 24, I think it is, on spiritism.
Right, lovely. Okay. Well, perhaps we can tackle Lesson 13 next time we talk. Then that would be nice to go through together with you.
Okay, Lesson 13, that's paragraph 2 on warfare. I'd be happy to look at that. But I prefer to look at one thing once in depth. I don't like every week we do the same thing over and over again. I did that with a Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh, no.
Where we did the same topic. He kept flipping. Every 10 minutes he'd flip onto a new topic. And we did the same 3 topics every week for 13 weeks. And we're going nowhere because he refused to look at anything in depth. He never prepared. He never studied. He didn't really... I had to teach him Seventh-day Adventist doctrine, and he was the Seventh-day Adventist pastor. So it was rather hopeless.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously you've had a little read through already the Enjoy Life Forever. There's an online version as well, so you can sort of watch the videos, but we could probably share those for you, some teaching videos as well.
I will agree, if I make an agreement, I agree to do that thing and nothing else.
Sure.
Yes?
That's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
But you understand, if I agree to do something, then that is all I'm doing, what I have agreed to. I'm not agreeing to anything else. So if you want to look at warfare, lesson 13, paragraph 2, I'm happy to do that. But I'm not agreeing to look at videos. Because you said we could look at that as well. No, I haven't agreed to that.
Okay.
I'm happy to look at lesson 13, paragraph 2 on warfare. But I will read the whole chapter before I speak to you and prepare.
That's it. We'll have a little look. Well,
yeah.
It's just that study course, there's videos in every single lesson. That's all I'm trying to say, Rob.
Yeah, but I haven't agreed to look at those with you.
Okay. Well, it would be the lesson so you only want to see part of the... I'm trying to understand.
I will prepare on my own. If I think it's reasonable and necessary, I will look at every video. And I will go on your website and I'll look at articles on warfare in the Watchtower.
Lovely.
If I deem it necessary. But I am not agreeing to have a 14 or 15-hour study with you.
Oh, no.
Where I'm looking at all these. I've only agreed to have a one-off discussion on lesson 13, paragraph 2. We'll read the paragraph, and I'm happy to look at that. I found it particularly interesting. Sure. I really did. But I'm not agreeing to look at that and this and that and look at videos and this and that. I'm not trying to be difficult with you, sir.
No. Well, just to reassure you, the lesson shouldn't take more. If we went through a lesson, it shouldn't take more than an hour. I'm not suggesting that we talk for an hour, although we probably nearly have now.
Well, I would not wish to. I would not wish to have a brief conversation of 10 minutes because I would rather look at something in depth, thoroughly, cover every angle. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time if it's just a superficial surface look at it. I would not be willing to commit to that. But I am willing to commit to look at lesson 13, paragraph 2. We look at it once, but we look at it in depth.
Sure.
So there's no way that you say to me, well, we'll look at it again next week. I've got more information to share on you. And then next week you want to look at it a third time.
No. It wouldn't be like that. As you can see by the book, the lessons go on. It's the Bible's answer to those questions that are raised in each lesson. So I think you'll find that really enjoyable. But the first 2 or 3 paragraphs really are an introduction to the deeper section. So have a little look. It probably makes more sense if you want.
I have already read the whole chapter. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to read the whole chapter again, but I'm only willing to discuss lesson 13, paragraph 2. That's what particularly interested me in lesson 13. Right. So I will reread that, sir, and I will try to understand the lesson a little bit better before we speak again. It was a very interesting lesson. I found it extremely interesting. So I'd be very interested in looking at that. Thank you.
Okay, Robert. Well, thank you so much. It's been nice. Well, meeting you, I suppose.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Have a good rest of your day. What's the weather like down in Plymouth? Is it similar to up here? We're kind of overcast up here.
Yes, overcast.
Very still, though. There's no heavy winds or anything.
No.
Is it same down there?
Yes. Very still and overcast. In fact, I need to open the curtains a bit because it's not very bright in here. Yes.
Okay then, Robert. You take care and we'll be in touch.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.